In another world, everything is going downhill because the Demon King and his generals are wrecking the place. So, a group called the Heroes Party decides, yeah, we'll handle this. Bold move. The party leader, Yuga, asks his teammates one last time if they're really ready, because once they step inside the Demon King's castle, there's no turning back. All three of them confidently say they're ready, even if it costs them their lives. Big hero energy. The party's mage, Mika, tells Yuga to relax. She's done her homework and studied every single one of the Demon King's generals. According to her, if they follow the plan properly, they can totally crush them. Feeling pumped, Yuga smiles, and the team marches toward the castle for the final battle. But the moment they step inside, their luck immediately dies. Standing right at the entrance is Yuki, the captain of the Demon King's generals and the worst possible first opponent. Yuki casually tells them he's been waiting for them and says that if they want to even touch the Demon King, they'll have to go through him first. Then he adds the cherry on top. None of them are strong enough to beat him anyway. Mika has heard enough trash talk and instantly fires a fireball straight at his face. Yuki casually swats it away like it's an annoying mosquito and mocks them, saying he knew they were weak, but not this weak. Apparently, even basic defensive magic is too much for them. The party's tank, Raven, rushes in and swings his weapon at Yuki with full force. Completely useless. Yuki dodges every attack and then kicks Raven so hard he goes flying across the room. Seeing this, the support priestess Celia quickly buffs Yuga. Powered up, Yuga pulls out his legendary sword, Excalibur, and prepares one of his strongest attacks. But Yuki doesn't even bother moving. He launches his own attack, clashes with Yuga's magic, overpowers it, and releases a massive wave of dark energy that knocks the entire Heroes Party out cold. While deciding what to do with them, Yuki notices Celia lying in the back, and immediately realizes she's exactly his type. Before he can think further, the other generals arrive and ask if they should just kill the heroes to avoid future trouble. One of them even asks why Yuki was staring so hard at the priestess. Yuki quickly dodges the question and says he's just thinking. When another general suggests killing them already, Yuki decides instead to throw them out of the castle. He orders them to dump the heroes near a nearby village. As the generals carry the party away, one of them warns Yuki that the Demon King is definitely not going to like this. Yuki brushes it off, takes one last look at Celia, and silently says goodbye in his head. A month passes. The heroes' party keeps coming back to attack the castle again and again, and every single time, Yuki effortlessly beats them and throws them out like trash. Eventually, the Demon King himself summons Yuki. Along with his minister, he asks why the heroes' party is still alive. The minister mocks Yuki, saying the heroes must be insanely weak if they keep losing to someone like him. The whole court laughs while Yuki stays silent. Then the Demon King speaks again, shutting everyone up. He warns Yuki that if the heroes' party escapes alive one more time, he'll let Yuki's subordinates handle them instead. That hits a nerve. Yuki immediately promises that the next time the heroes' party enters the castle, they won't live to see another day. Back in his room, Yuki lies on his bed thinking. He knows his subordinates would be destroyed if they fought the heroes. In fact, the heroes' party is strong enough to even challenge the Demon King himself. The only reason they keep losing is because Yuki is absurdly overpowered. A few weeks later, the heroes' party invades the castle again. This time, Yuki decides it ends here. He tells Yuga to learn from his mistakes and stop coming back every few weeks just to get beaten up. Yuga charges forward with Raven, and the two try to attack Yuki from both sides at once. Bad idea. Yuki predicts the move, blocks them, and blasts them back with powerful purple magic. Before they can recover, he fires a second blast and slams them into a wall. Celia rushes in to heal Yuga and Raven while Mika stays behind to hold Yuki off. Mika fires an R15 spell, which Yuki blocks easily, but then she surprises him with a delayed fire spell that explodes right in his face. It looks cool, but does absolutely nothing. Thanks to his broken stats, Yuki isn't even scratched. Mika is left wondering how a mere general can be this strong. Still, her trick works long enough for Celia to heal the others so they can stand again. Yuki laughs and tells them the truth. No matter how many times they fight him, nothing is going to change. Yuga isn't in the mood to argue anymore. He pulls out his sword, gathers all his strength, and prepares one last desperate counterattack. The blade starts glowing as he pours every bit of energy he has into it and charges straight at Yuki, aiming to finish everything in one final strike. But when the smoke clears, Yuki is still standing. Yuki calmly asks if Yuga finally understands now that no matter how many times they try, they simply can't defeat him. Yuga steps back, gripping his sword, and says they don't have a choice. They have to defeat the Demon King no matter the cost. That's when Yuki suddenly makes a shocking offer. He says he'll let them pass and go fight the Demon King if they leave Celia behind. Yuga immediately refuses. There's no way he's abandoning one of his teammates. But Mika steps in and points out the harsh truth. One priestess's life versus millions of innocent people. Yuga hesitates, clearly torn apart. Before he can decide, Celia speaks up. She tells them to go on without her. She says she'll be fine and tells Yuga to promise he'll come back for her after they defeat the Demon King. With a heavy heart, Yuga agrees. The heroes' party passes through the gate to the next room, leaving Celia behind. Now alone in the cave, things get awkward. Yuki nervously asks Celia how she's doing. Still tense, she says that even if she stands no chance, she'll fight him until the very end. She immediately fires a magic blast at him. Yuki blocks it easily and tells her to calm down. He says he has zero intention of harming her, not even a single hair on her head. This completely confuses Celia, and she asks why he even made her stay behind in the first place. After gathering his courage, Yuki finally blurts it out. He admits that he fell for her the very first time he saw her in the castle, and asks if she would like to go on a date with him. Celia is absolutely stunned. This is the last thing she expected. Completely flustered, she apologizes instead of answering. Yuki instantly gets the message and collapses on the ground, dramatically claiming there's no reason for him to live anymore. Celia, still suspicious, wonders if this is just another trick. She says demons are supposed to be heartless and shouldn't feel things like regret or love. But Yuki explains the truth. He says he's not actually a demon. He was once a human from another world who got reincarnated as a demon under the Demon King's command. That's why he's so ridiculously overpowered, stronger than almost anyone in this world. He also explains that he's not allowed to leave the castle unless it's to attack human villages, which he hates, because deep down, he's still human. Celia asks the obvious question. If he's that strong, why not just kill the Demon King? Yuki replies that he could kill him any time, but if he does, the demons would just make him the next Demon King, and that's the last thing he wants. Celia then tells him to forget all this demon nonsense and come live in the human world instead. Hearing this, something clicks inside Yuki. He feels hope for the first time in forever and decides to accept her suggestion. That very day, the heroes' party defeats the Demon King. A massive celebration is held in the royal capital. The heroes are praised by the king himself, parades are thrown, and the entire country celebrates its freedom. Yuki watches all of this from afar. He snaps off his own horns to look more human, buys some normal clothes, and heads to the Adventurers Guild. The guild is completely empty, except for one grumpy receptionist named Kramen. Yuki cheerfully asks if he can register as an adventurer. Kramen sighs and explains that everyone else is on holiday because of the Demon King's defeat, and he's the unlucky guy stuck on duty. He registers Yuki, hands him his adventurer card, and warns him not to lose it because reissuing cards is a pain. Over the next few weeks, Yuki goes absolutely crazy grinding quests. He rises from F rank to D rank in no time, becoming the fastest ranking adventurer in the guild's history. Everyone starts talking about him, including Kramen, who asks how a rookie is ranking up this fast. Yuki doesn't know how to answer and just hands him the quests he wants to take. Then Celia suddenly shows up and asks Yuki to meet her alone. She takes him to her house and tells him he needs to quit, or at least slow down, his adventurer career. She explains that with the Demon King gone, countries are now fighting over power and resources. She warns him that powerful nations are trying to recruit the strongest adventurers. Apparently, even Jeff Bezos tried to marry off his wife to Yuga the hero, just to use him as a weapon. Celia says that if Yuki keeps rising this fast, some country will definitely try to claim him, and that would be disastrous, because he's basically a walking nuke. Yuki promises to tone it down and stop being flashy. Just then, Celia's mother calls them into her room and says she's been receiving marriage proposals for Celia. She even mentions that Yuga himself proposed. Yuki completely loses it and starts ranting like a salty incel. Celia tells him to shut up and explains she already rejected all of them. Relieved, Yuki tells her mother that Celia already rejected him once too. So he'll keep working as an adventurer, build a proper life, and when he can support her properly, he'll propose again, and hope the answer changes. That answer seems to satisfy her mother, who leaves them alone. Yuki decides it's time to leave and tells Celia that he'll see her again soon. With that, he heads back to his humble home eagerly waiting for the day he can propose to her again, hopefully with a better outcome this time. A few days later, Yuki picks up a new quest. A chimera has been attacking villagers for no reason, and Crayman warns him that the quest might take over a week. Yuki accepts it anyway. Deep in the jungle, he finally runs into the chimera, and quickly realizes it's not that big of a deal. The half-chicken, half-snake monster keeps lunging at him, but Yuki is way faster. He dodges everything, lets the beast tire itself out, and then finishes it off with a clean thunderbolt attack. Easy win. He collects the feathers as proof and realizes the whole thing took less than half a day. That means he can level up even faster than he expected. Just as he's about to leave, he senses danger. A knight suddenly jumps out of the bushes and tries to stab him in the throat, but Yuki dodges effortlessly. Then a bird person swoops down from above, aiming for his eyes. Yuki quickly throws up a magic barrier and knocks it away. Before he can figure out what's going on, an elven fairy attacks him. Yuki immediately recognizes the attacker. It's Sheik, one of his former underlings. Yuki calls out his name, and Sheik stops at the last second, shocked to hear it. After a moment, he realizes it's their captain. The other attackers, Harpy and Duke, step out of hiding, equally confused. They're stunned to see Yuki alive. They all thought he died along with the Demon King when the Empire fell. Yuki tells them he's happy to see they're safe, but Duke instantly gets angry and demands to know where Yuki disappeared to after leaving them behind. Duke says they searched everywhere for him and was seriously worried. Then he notices something strange. Yuki doesn't have horns or wings anymore and looks completely human. Confused, Duke asks where his horns went and why he's dressed like a human. Yuki tells him to shut up and listen. He gives them a very short explanation. He confessed his love to a priestess from the hero's party, got rejected, and is now living as a human adventurer. His underlings are completely baffled. How does the former captain of the Demon King's generals just become human? Yuki tells them this is the path he chose, and in this new peaceful world, they're free to live however they want. Without hesitation, all three of them refuse to leave him. They say they want to stay with their captain, live as humans, and meet the woman he fell in love with. Yuki tells them to be realistic. They're demons. There's no way humans would accept them. But the three of them argue that if Yuki managed to make himself look human, then they can do the same. After some thought, Yuki agrees and takes them to meet Celia. The moment she sees them, Celia is horrified, especially when she finds out Yuki ripped Harpy's wings off to make her look more human. She scolds him, saying that ripping off a Harpy's wings must have been insanely painful. Harpy immediately hugs Celia, calling her kind and nice. Duke and Sheik are impressed and even clap for her. Everyone heads inside Celia's mansion for tea. Celia asks Duke if it's true that they were all Yuki's subordinates since they don't really look like demons. Duke explains that he's a headless knight, Harpy is a harpy, and Sheik is a pixie. All humanoid beings, not pure demons. Yuki is surprised by how talkative Duke suddenly is. Duke explains that he used to be quiet because of Yuki himself. When Yuki first arrived as their captain, he was a total shut-in who barely spoke, ignored orders, and even disrespected his superior Z, who thought dealing with Yuki was a waste of time. Annoyed, Duke decided to teach this new captain a lesson by force. Unfortunately for him, Yuki completely destroyed him in that fight. That defeat made Duke respect Yuki's overwhelming strength. Celia comments that they seem to care about their captain a lot now. Duke admits it's true. They care about Yuki, and Yuki cares about them too. Suddenly, Yuki realizes he can't hear Harpy and Sheik playing anymore and starts to panic. If people find out Celia is hiding demons, it'll be a huge problem. They quickly search and find Sheik sleeping in the lap of Celia's mother. She calmly explains that he was running around the garden, got tired, and fell asleep. Yuki apologizes immediately, saying Sheik doesn't know any better, but her mother just smiles and says she loves children. Yuki then asks if she's seen the girl who was playing with him. Celia's mother says the maid, Sophia, took her inside. Everyone rushes back into the mansion, worried that Harpy might panic. Instead, they find her standing calmly in a maid outfit, looking polite, quiet, and completely well-behaved. And honestly, no one saw that coming. Sophia immediately introduces the girl in the maid outfit to Celia and the others as a new maid named Harpy. Celia quickly clears things up, explaining that Harpy is actually Yuki's friend. Embarrassed, Sophia apologizes and says she got confused because a new maid was supposed to start working that day. Yuki tells Harpy she can go change her clothes, but Harpy refuses. She says she wants to work and asks Sophia if she can stay and help out. Sophia smiles and says she'll show her the servants' quarters. By evening, Yuki and the others, Except Harpy, get ready to leave. Sheikh rubs his sleepy eyes and mutters about how lucky Harpy is to stay in such a huge mansion. Celia tells them they're welcome to visit any time. Before Yuki leaves, Celia's mother pulls him aside. She says Celia has been overworking herself and hasn't rested in a long time, so she's forcing her to take a holiday tomorrow. She then asks Yuki to take Celia out on a date. The next morning, Yuki waits nervously in the city square. Soon, Celia arrives in a fancy wagon pulled by 2 griffins. She hops out, but this time she's dressed like a normal citizen and even wears thick glasses as a disguise. Yuki is completely mesmerized. He takes her hand, and the two start walking around the city together. Celia is fascinated by everything: shops, streets, people. She stops at a cake shop and begs Yuki to come back later for tea. They wander around, play with cats, try on new dresses, and just enjoy the day. Yuki decides to take her to a gift shop to buy her a small souvenir so she can remember the day. And of course, that's when things go wrong. Inside the city, Yuga and Mika are also out on a date, dressed like commoners. Yuga immediately runs up to Celia and starts talking to her, completely ignoring Yuki standing right there. He even suggests she join them, which Yuki absolutely hates. Thankfully, Celia says she's already out with a friend. That's when Yuga finally notices Yuki. But he clearly doesn't care and casually says Yuki can come along if he wants. Yuga then walks into the gift shop with Celia, leaving Mika and Yuki behind. Mika, clearly annoyed, mutters that she hopes Celia falls for a commoner like Yuki. This makes Yuki happy for about 2 seconds, until he realizes she meant it as an insult. Yep, Mika is kind of awful. Inside the shop, Yuga keeps chatting with Celia. Yuki thinks about how Celia already rejected Yuga's marriage proposal once. Any normal person would back off after that. Clearly, Yuga is not a normal person. Yuki decides he's not giving up either. He walks into the shop, picks out a simple necklace and asks Celia if she likes it. Celia blushes and says it's really beautiful. Right then, Yuga jumps in with a massive emerald tiara, bragging that it's the most expensive item in the entire store. He takes off Celia's hat to put it on her head. Her glasses fall off, and the crowd instantly recognizes her as Celia, the famous priestess, along with Yuga and Mika. People swarm them instantly. Yuki gets left behind since, to everyone else, he's just some random guy. He tries to push through the crowd to reach Celia, but instead crashes into Raven, who's surrounded by a group of fangirls. Feeling bad for him, Yuki distracts the girls, grabs Raven's hand, and drags him into a nearby alley. Yuki tries to leave, but Raven stops him. To Yuki's surprise, Raven's voice is very girly. Raven shyly asks if Yuki would like to be his friend, since people always make fun of his voice. Yuki agrees, and with that, they part ways. Yuki resumes searching for Celia and eventually finds her back in disguise, helping a little boy who lost his mother in the crowd. Yuki joins her, and together they help reunite the child with his mom. Yuki tells Celia she should head home and rest, but she refuses and keeps helping until everything is settled. The next morning, Yuki goes to check on her. Celia's mother greets him and explains that Celia collapsed from exhaustion after yesterday's chaos. Yuki apologizes, but her mother tells him not to worry. It was clearly the hero's fault. She even mentions that Yuga barged into their house demanding to take care of Celia, but Sophia kicked him out. To Yuki's surprise, Celia's mother allows him to visit her. He finds Celia resting in bed, and they talk about how crazy the day was. Celia then asks Yuki to take her out again the next time she has a day off. Yuki gets so excited that he starts acting goofy, making Celia laugh until she starts coughing. Sophia immediately kicks Yuki out of the room. On his way home, Yuki runs into Raven again. Raven asks for advice, saying there's a girl he likes who's always been kind to him, but he doesn't know how to confess because of his voice. Yuki gives him a heartfelt pep talk and tells him to go for it. Raven thanks him and then walks towards Celia's house. Yuki freezes, and that's when it hits him. Raven likes Celia too. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos.